a lot of people weren't expecting Graham Mertz to really be that good this season. And let's be honest, when the news came out that he was transferring from Wisconsin to Florida, most of us laughed. We wrote him off. Many people didn't think Florida was going to be that good this season. There were a lot of people who thought that Florida was going to be a dumpster fire. And to Graham Mertz and Billy Napier's credit, they are exceeding expectations. Graham Mertz is playing some of the best football that I've ever seen him play. He's on pace to have the best statistical season of his collegiate career. He's completing 76.2% of his passes. He only has thrown 2 interceptions. He has 12 touchdown passes, and he has 1,897 passing yards. Graham Mertz, a lot of people talk about how good he was in high school, and you always think about the potential, how good he can be. And at Wisconsin, like, you saw some flashes of that, but for the most part, you just saw low lights of him. And Paul Chryst isn't really known for being the offensive guru. Billy Napier is a little bit better on the offensive side of the football than what Paul Chryst is. And Billy Napier has been pretty solid with quarterbacks. I just think the Anthony Richardson experiment didn't really work out because I just think that Graham Mertz is just a better fit for Billy Napier's offense than what Anthony Richardson was. You see, Graham Mertz, one thing about him that he does better than Anthony Richardson is that he knows how to get the ball out quick. He works just the quick passing game so much better than what Anthony Richardson did. And Graham Mertz also does have nice touch on his deep ball. Like, Graham Mertz, nobody's talking about how good he's playing right now. And he played a really good game against South Carolina. I felt like he had a pretty good performance against Tennessee. Yeah, he stunk it up against Utah, but that was his first game ever playing for the Florida Gators against one of the best defenses in all of college football. Graham Mertz, outside of that Utah game, he's played some really good football. And they're playing Georgia this week. And Georgia's defense hasn't been the same defense that we've seen in the previous 2 seasons. As a matter of fact, this is probably the worst defense that Georgia has had in the last 3 years, because you got to remember that the 2021 and 2022 Georgia defenses were historical. Okay, those were some of the most talented and best performing defenses in college football history. So, of course, they were bound to have a drop-off. And with the way that this defense played against Vanderbilt, if Graham Mertz can play the way that he has had the last couple of games this weekend against Georgia, there's a really strong chance that maybe Florida can pull off the upset. They're a 14-point underdog at the time I'm recording this, so maybe that goes up, maybe that goes down, but Florida does have a little bit of talent to work with at receiver. You got Ricky Pearsall, you got Marcus Berg, and you got a really good group of running backs in Trevor Etienne, the little brother of Travis Etienne, Montrell Johnson. And their offensive line is pretty good. And I don't think that Georgia's defensive line is as dominant as what it has been in the past. And I do know that they looked really good against Kentucky, and Florida got rolled over by Kentucky and Ray Davis. But college football is a week-to-week sport. Just because Florida got smashed by Kentucky and Georgia blew him out doesn't mean that Florida doesn't have a shot to win this game. Graham Mertz, he's been really good with taking care of the football. Obviously, when you beat Georgia, you got to make sure that you limit turnovers. You don't want to give them extra possessions, especially when they have the talent advantage. You can trust Graham Mertz to take care of the football. And I also think that Graham Mertz is good enough that he can make a couple of big throws here and there against that Georgia defense, because they gave us some big throws against Vanderbilt. And if Vanderbilt can have success against Georgia's defense, then so should Graham Mertz. And you got to remember that when Georgia played Kentucky, Kentucky's run game was able to do nothing. And Devin Leary has been the shell of himself. He hasn't been good. Graham Mertz has been better than Devin Leary. Even when Kentucky beat Florida, like, I still felt like Graham Mertz was the best quarterback on the field in that game. Devin Leary didn't really have to do too much outside of give the ball to Ray Davis. Graham Mertz is one of the top 5 best quarterbacks in the SEC right now. And I definitely think that he's a little bit of the reason why Florida has a good chance of being able to pull off the upset against Georgia. They're going to be without Brock Bowers. Their defense kind of has looked a little bit vulnerable at times. So Graham Mertz, with how well he's playing, I think that he needs a little bit more recognition. I think that more people need to give him his flowers, and I think that this was a good moment to give him some recognition. And I can't wait to break down the Georgia and Florida game, but I'm definitely expecting Graham Mertz to have a pretty good performance. I know Kirby Smart is a defensive mastermind, and they got Will Muschamp on that staff as well as the defensive coordinator, but Graham Mertz has been really good with taking care of the football. And I know that Utah game was a little bit rough, but if he can do a better job of taking care of the ball, and Florida's wide receivers can continue to build on the performances that they have had in the past couple of weeks, I think that they got a really good shot at being able to pull off the upset with Graham Mertz at quarterback.